Welcome back. Welcome back. As Mr. Cotter used to say, welcome back. So, we are jumping into a new domain. So, this is domain number 2 of your Security Plus exam preparation. Also, a good foundation for just knowing what's going on in the security world if you're out here working already. So, let's take a look at what's going on. This is domain 2. The title of this domain is Technologies and Tools. Subjects in this domain cover 22% of the exam. There is a lot to cover. Just like domain 1, there's a lot to cover in this domain. So we're not, in this overview, we're not going to go very deep into any of the subdomains. But we'll cover the high points, right? So 2.1, install and configure network components, hardware and software based, to support organizational security. We'll just call this one network security, right? This is going to be things like you see on the slide here: firewalls, VPN concentrators, NIDs, or network intrusion detection systems, or host-based intrusion detection systems, or HIDs. Obviously, routers, proxies, load balancers, access points, SIEMs, or security event monitoring solutions, DLP, NAC, mail gateways, bridges, SSL, and TLS. Probably be concentrating on TLS, transport layer security, SSL decryptors, media gateways, and hardware security modules. A lot, as you can see, a lot going on. A good thing to note about this: install and configure components. We're going to talk about these things at a higher level, but I will point you the place you need to go to be able to do some of this work on your own, to practice, to get spun up, because there's only so much time we're going to cover each of these. We're going to cover what you need to know for the exam, but if you want to go in depth into any of these things, it could be something as simple as setting up the firewall on your Windows box, or your Mac box, or your Linux box, or we'll point you at some open source software you can build your own firewall for your home network. Same thing along the way for some of the other things. Like switches and routers, you're going to need the hardware to mess with it. We'll show you where you can get some virtualized versions to do the same thing. You probably have an access point in your house. I'll show you how to secure that, lock it down. So a lot of stuff to cover in this module. 2.2, given a scenario, use the appropriate software tools to assess the security posture of an organization. We will call this one security assessment. And this, again, looking at protocol analyzers, network scanners, password crackers, vulnerability scanners, configuration compliance scanners, exploitation frameworks, data sanitization tools, stenography tools, honeypots, backup utilities, banner grabbing, passive versus active attacks, and scanning, and command line tools. Again, another subdomain that's going to be chock full of things. And again, we'll point you at some open source tools, some tools you can use to protect yourself on your own network, on your small office, home office network, or if you're doing this stuff for an organization, some place you can get some free or even less expensive tools to do this stuff. 2.3, given a scenario, troubleshoot common security issues. Obviously, we'll call this security issues. Unencrypted credentials and clear text, bad things, log events and anomalies, permission issues, access violations, certificate issues, data exfiltration, which is really what the bad guy is after now, misconfigured devices, how to get those things back correct, weak security configurations, personnel issues, unauthorized software, baseline deviations, license compliance violations, which is a violation of availability and integrity. Not sure why the Security Plus guide calls that out particularly, but it does. Asset management and authentication issues. 2.4, given a scenario, analyze and interpret output from security technology. So we're going to be looking at the output from some of the devices we talked about earlier, including HIDs and HIPs, host intrusion prevention systems and host intrusion detection systems, antivirus, file integrity checks, host-based firewalls, application whitelisting, removable media, malware tools, advanced malware tools, patch management, UTM, DLP, data execution prevention, web application firewalls. 2.5, given a scenario, deploy mobile devices securely. We're talking about connection methods, mobile device management concepts, enforcement and monitoring, and deployment modules. This one will probably do a decent lab where we take one of the home-based access points. And remember, those home-based access points have a lot of security tools built into them. They have a small router in there. They've got normally some security tools like a firewall and some types of intrusion detection systems of their own. And obviously they've got the access point. So there's a lot of things we can take a access point you've probably got in your house, and we can take that thing and look at some of these concepts. This is a good one to jump into and actually, get elbows deep in getting your home devices secure. And then last but not least, given a scenario, implement security protocols. And we talk about some of the different protocols and the use cases in them. That's what's ahead of us for Domain 2. We're going to jump in deep and fast on this domain this week. There's a lot to cover. We're going to try to get going. Once we're done with Domain 1 and Domain 2, you're over 40% prepared for the exam. That's how big these things are. We've got 4 more domains to go. The topic list become a little shorter as we move further into the upper domains. So when we get into domains 5 and 6, there's a lot less topics than we have here up front. Like I said before, domains 1 and domains 2 are setting the foundational levels for you moving forward. So if you're going to take Security Plus exam, if you just want to get better in your security career, this is a place to go. We're going to turn the April Security Plus playlist around so it actually plays from the front to the back instead of playing backwards. So we'll turn that around so it plays the right way. Do that today. As always, it's important for you guys, if you would, share with your friends. That's how we get our traction here on YouTube. Like, comment, hit that bell to be notified when new content comes out. That will include when Cup of Cyber goes live and also when we go live with trivia. So, as always, I'm Jim with Cyber-Recon, and please be safe out there.